If you're an e-com owner and you're wondering how to actually get recurring stable revenue from your flows, this video is for you. Because today I'm going to go over the 3 most important flows you need to have set up and optimized in order to nail 70% of your flow revenue. All right, straight in the dogs. And just a quick note about me. I'm Leon. I'm the CEO and founder of Lithoris. We're an email marketing agency and we're frankly nailing the email and SMS marketing for our clients. So right here you can see some recent wins that we achieved for one of our clients. But that's good to know, but let's get straight into it. And before we do that, I want to give you some quick context. So most Shopify brands actually have multiple flows set up, a lot of flows actually. I see that for a lot of brands. And only a few of them actually make real money. And actually, it's pretty hard to tell which ones should drive most revenue because it's really mixed. And one month, one flow is performing really well. The other month, another flow is performing really well. So you don't really know what's working and what's not. Now, the problem behind this is that not all flows matter equally. So most brands either focus on the wrong flows or they build the right ones poorly. So it's either one of those. So as you can see, I'll walk you through the exact setup and also the structure of the flows. And maybe if it's good to know, this is the exact structure that we use when onboarding a new client. So of course, every brand is different, every niche is different, but quite frankly, this is a script that you can use for 99% of the ecom brands out there. So it's really powerful. First on the list, of course, we have the welcome flow, simply because the welcome flow is the first impression and also the first conversion driver. It's really easy to get a lot of conversions from that, especially when you have a good welcome offer, when you have a good follow-up sequence, and when you also add some urgency and social proof. I will not go into detail on that right now, but right here you can see the flow structure, you can see the emails when they should trigger, and also the profile filters. So feel free to orient yourself by that. I can promise you, if you're an ecom brand, 99% of the times this will work wonders, simply because it's so easy and so simple. Second, we have the abandoned checkout flow, and actually it should also be listed number 2 in terms of flow attribution right behind the welcome flow, simply because it's high intent recovery. People that abandon their checkouts are so close to purchasing, so if you do it right, it's really easy to get this conversion. Most of the time, the abandoned checkout flow actually underperforms because it's not targeted enough. What I see is a lot of brands having no dynamic content, not adding urgency, not adding discounts as kind of the incentive to get them over the edge to buy, and also no social proof. So it's really just telling people, hey, you abandoned your checkout, but nothing of value for the customers or the subscribers. Right here you can see the flow structure, and it's again really simple. I won't go into detail on that. You can just pause and read through it. You want to give urgency, you want to give discounts, you want to remind them, and you want to give social proof. This is really the 4 key things you want to focus on for this flow. So last on the list, we have the post-purchase flow. And again, the post-purchase flow should be listed 3rd place in terms of flow attribution for the revenue. Now, I have a kind of different stance in the post-purchase flow, as you will see in a second. The post-purchase flow, of course, is great for driving repeat purchases, getting more in touch with your customers, having a stronger bond with them, and also increasing the lifetime value of your customers. And most of the time, this flow underperforms because it's just a plain thank you flow. I have the assumption that a lot of people think that the post-purchase flow is really for thanking the customer. And of course, you want to thank them, but most brands are missing the opportunity to include cross-sells, to include upsells, maybe also review requests so that you push your products in terms of review count. And there's so many options that you can choose from. And I personally like to have the post-purchase flow sometimes 7 to 8 emails long, of course, depending on the brand. It is basically a great opportunity to really get in touch with your customers and really ask a lot and also give a lot. So it's a great way of interacting with your customers. As you can see, I like to split this flow into 2 separate flows. Flow number 1 should be the first purchase thank you, and flow number 2, the repeat purchase thank you, simply because I find that these flows can get really lengthy, and they sometimes should get really lengthy as well. So you can definitely include both first purchase and repeat purchase thank you into one flow, but it's a whole mess. It's a lot of emails. You don't really have the oversight. So it's really easy to just split them into two separate flows with two separate triggers, and you have way better overview, and you can also target people way better. Now, again, it's not a surprise that the welcome, abandon checkout, and post-purchase flow are the most important ones. But with this video, I just really wanted to point out that it's really important to nail those flows so that you get around 60 to maybe even 70% of your flow revenue from those three flows. They should be the backbone of your flow structure. They should really carry your flows. So really make sure that you nail these in terms of length, in terms of logic, in terms of content you have included, and so on and so forth. For the welcome flow, you really want to focus on getting that first purchase, getting that first impression, and really telling people what to expect, giving them some social proof, and having them introduced to your brand in a proper way. For the abandoned checkout flow, you want to focus on recovering lost sales. So just set yourself in the shoes of your customers. What would you like to receive in terms of emails when you abandon a checkout? Now we have it. Of course, you want to receive a personalized email. Of course, you want to receive some kind of incentive, some kind of discount. And maybe, to be honest, you would also tend to buy faster if you have some urgency behind it. Now, for the post-purchase flow, you want to focus on driving repeat revenue. Of course, you want to thank your customers. Of course, you want to have one or two emails where you really tell people how grateful you are. But then you also want to transition and focus on cross-sells, on upsells, on new offers, on maybe even exclusive content for your repeat buyers. So really increasing the lifetime value of your customers. If you build these flows and really optimize them before adding some crazy flows, you'll be better off. I've seen some really crazy stuff in terms of flows, in terms of different triggers and different events. It doesn't make any sense. At the end of the day, those three flows will always be the backbone of your flow structure, so really nail that. If you feel like this is just too much to implement, and maybe, quite frankly, you just don't have the time, you can hire professionals to do it for you, and you can book a call down below to get a free email audit where I'll tell you exactly what we need to focus on to improve your email performance at the end of the day. So that's it. I hope you have a great day. See ya.